What is up, kids? Welcome to the Weekend Edition Sports Frenzy 2.0. I am the maestro, Kevin Crane.
I am the conquistador, Dave Height.
Taping here on January the 19th, 2022. This will hit on the 22nd, Saturday morning, just in time to get you through until you watch nothing but football.
What a great way to start a birthday weekend.
That is true because the Conquistador's birthday is coming up. All hail the mighty Conquistador.
This Friday on my birthday.
This Friday is the Conquistador's birthday.
No, Saturday is.
Oh, see, now you screwed me over again. I thought I had it on Friday, so I'm sorry.
It is on Saturday the 22nd when this drops.
We have watched a ton of stuff. We have listened to a ton of stuff to guide you through, to make sure you don't watch crap.
To keep you warm through this cold snap that we're getting ready to go through.
The problem is the Conquistador is mad at me because he watched the Tender Bar after I recommended it, and I went superhero all weekend. I watched the Eternals, I watched Peacemaker, and I watched Hawkeye. So we're going to hold off on my review of the Tender Bar with Ben Affleck, directed by George Clooney, but we will get the Conquistador review on it. But first and foremost, as always,
music, rock and roll.
And this is going to be a full segment because we have an album and about half a dozen songs to review for you.
We do, and it's going to be awesome. And we're going to start off with LA Guns' album, Checkered Past.
Which was a recommendation from the Conquistador, a great recommendation, by the way.
Because there's a potential to see them coming up this year.
Yes, we are still waiting for confirmation. They should be going out with Tom Kiefer and Faster Pussycat. Still have not seen tickets go on sale. Maybe they're being cautious because of COVID.
Could be. And Tom Kiefer is a hint for the streaming segment.
But Checkered Past came out past August 2021. I feel bad. I feel like we should have been reviewing this earlier.
Much earlier. I liked LA Guns back through the 80s as a hair metal. But between Renegades and this one, I have a better appreciation.
I agree. They fell through the cracks. Of course, Guns N' Roses ended up being the offshoot from the...
Yeah, Tracy Guns and Axl Rose had started Guns N' Roses, and then Axl got with everybody else, and Tracy went his own way.
So LA Guns never got the credit they deserved?
No, they did not.
But Checkered Past is a really good album.
Very solid. I will say I think there's only one song that I was kind of really down on, maybe two. But for the most part, it's a solid run through. There were a few that really stood out that I liked. So I will say I love the fast guitar lead off with Cannonball. Solid opening song. Bad Luck Charm had that rockabilly vibe to it.
Bad Luck Charm sounded like you could tell how Guns N' Roses was an offshoot of LA Guns, because Bad Luck Charm sounds like a GNR song.
It does.
To me.
And to me, it had that rockabilly vibe, like Stray Cats could have done it. So really enjoyed that one. Another one that was up there, you could hear the hair metal roots of That Ain't Why.
I didn't like that one.
No? You didn't?
I didn't like that one.
So
No, I thought the first half of the album was much stronger than the second half.
it was. I did like though the physical itch that kind of had
That was a good
that had an Alice Cooper-esque vibe to it.
Physical Itch was a good closing tune. I'll admit that. Um,
The two that I really kind of had a knockdown on was I didn't quite care for Dog or Let You Down.
Let You Down was probably one of my least favorite songs, along with If It's Over Now. Those two songs sounded like they were trying to be power ballads, not necessarily
in a good way.
Yeah, a little bit heavier power ballads, but still.
Yeah.
I had number one. I will say I will give Checkered Past 3 Frenzies.
That's where I'm at with it as well.
I agree. Cannonball is a great song to start the album off with. And throughout the album, the guitar riffs are phenomenal.
Oh, there's not a bad guitar riff anywhere on it.
No. I go to Better Than You. Great guitar riff. I like Dog with a good guitar.
You liked it. I did not care for Dog.
I thought That Ain't Why had a good guitar riff, and then of course Physical Itch at the end. But the thing that intrigued me about this album, and maybe this is why LA Guns never ended up being as big as GNR, is that I never got the feeling, even on this album, LA Guns knew who they were, because like I said, Bad Luck Charm sounded like GNR. Living Right Now, to me, sounded like a punk version of Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Get Along, actually, to me, sounded like Oasis.
See, now I was thinking Tesla Black Crows.
But again,
because it had that beat of Little Susie's on the Up, but it kind of had that vocal styling of the Black Crows.
But I think we're getting to the same point, is that
they
seem to crib stuff and take stuff from everybody else.
Yeah.
Or maybe they were the ones that influenced those bands, but they have not grown beyond that.
But where does the Alice Cooper-esque Physical Itch?
But Better Than You, why is Tracy Gunn singing with an English accent?
That was my question too.
Does he not sound like there are a couple songs?
Is it Tracy
Living
singing?
Right Now?
I thought somebody else was singing.
You could be right.
Because I think it's, oh God, I can't think of his name now.
No, don't worry about it. Fine. It's fine. But it's a great, solid album. It's well worth
listening to. It reminds you that LA Guns was a solid band that never got the recognition they deserved.
Yeah, they were always the second tier hair metal band, You
hear a song, oh, that's great. Oh, it's LA Guns. Oh, I'll have to listen to them. And then you forget to go back to them.
They never got the airplay.
No, they didn't.
Never got the airplay.
Never on the radio, never on MTV.
Nope. So yeah, this Checkered Past is a really good album, really solid. I'll listen to it again.
So will I.
But it will not be one of my all-time favorites, but
no, but it's definitely, if you like the hard metal hair band, check them out. Yep. It's worthwhile. Yep. Definitely worthwhile.
All right, a couple music news tidbits before we move on to a ton of song reviews. Number one, we've been talking about all these bands selling their catalogs. Now David Coverdale is selling his catalog, which includes Whitesnake and the work he did with Deep Purple. The rumor, though, is that the sale is not finalized and nobody knows what it's going to go for. Now, wouldn't it have to be
contingent upon everybody else on Deep Purple and in Whitesnake?
No, not if they are his songs.
Okay, there we go.
It's like the Beatles. The Beatles, it's Lennon and McCartney. Ringo, unfortunately, and George don't
They
have
got
a
hosed
say
on it.
in most of those songs. So it depends on who wrote the songs.
All right, there we go.
I correct myself. Last week I bitched and pissed and moaned about the Eagles and Bon Jovi. I was wrong about Bon Jovi, not the Eagles.
The Eagles are money-grubbing bastards.
Bon Jovi, we might go to see them.
Yes,
You might
apologies for ripping on him for trying to overcharge. It looks like they are going to be reasonable.
Yes. And then Iron Maiden says they might be doing a smaller tour on top of the big gigantic Legacy tour. Where
so we might not get screwed out of a big arena venue.
But the only problem is we're not going to get the hits. We're going to get Senjutsu in its entirety. Iron Maiden says they will do a smaller tour of smaller venues, but only playing the entire Senjutsu album.
I will take a pass on that. If I'm going to see them, I want the hits. And Senjutsu does not do it for me enough to go see them.
I'd do it for $20.
After fees?
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to happen. That's going to happen. All right, next week, we're looking at reviewing John Mellencamp's new album, Strictly a One-Eyed Jack. But now there were so many great new songs that hit last week, right after we taped.
Good stuff down there.
Yep, Dave and I have got a buttload. Yes.
Well, a handful.
A Beavis and buttload.
A fistful.
Buffalo Bills fans would say
a dildo full. Check out the Sports Frenzy regular sports edition if you want to know what we're talking about.
All right, so the one that we agreed that we were going to review before all these new songs hit was Neil Lifeson's
Alec Lifeson,
sorry. I'm thinking Neil Peart. Jesus God.
I'm waiting for the Neil Peart tribute song to come out. But after listening to this one, Liar from Envy of None, I don't know that I want to hear the tribute.
Yeah, I saw this and I put this on our slate to review for this week.
Because of Lifeson.
And we got tricked a couple weeks ago with the Tom Morello song where we were told, Alec Lifeson and Kirk Hammett.
Yeah, and you could not determine that they were actually a part of it.
Right, so now we get Alec Lifeson's new band, Envy of None. Wow, this is bad.
It's an awful Tears for Fears wannabe knockoff.
God, that's insulting Tears for Fears, in my opinion.
I know. This is awful.
If you're going to have the guitarist from Rush in your band, could you actually have guitar?
A little bit of guitar instead of the fucking synthesizers? This is a travesty to Alec Lifeson's legacy, to his abilities. This is about as far from Rush as you could possibly freaking get. Yeah. This is bad on every level.
This is something that my daughter would like, and that's not a compliment.
Not good.
That's not a compliment.
That's not a good thing.
No, and I'm sorry. I thought this would be something we should review again. Rush fans that we are.
Right. We wanted to give it a shot because of Alex. Wow.
Yeah. Wow. I would give this half a frenzy.
Yeah, I'm right there as well. This was just god-awful crap.
Yeah, it's electronica. It's oh my God. I don't know how to describe it other than stay away from it.
Avoid Envy of None. That's right. Nobody is going to be envious of this crap.
Oh,
it's bad.
It is so depressing
bad.
Because you would hope that Geddy Lee and Alec Lifeson would be able to go on from Rush and create something really good, solid new music. And if this is what Lifeson's doing,
then bye-bye. Sorry. Oh, God. Oh, God. Avoid it at all costs, kids.
all right, the rest of this stuff is pretty dependable, in my opinion. I think everything else we've got to review this week is pretty positive. In various levels of really great or just kind of listenable.
Yeah.
So let's start with the Scorpions, Rock Believer, the title track off the upcoming album.
This one I kind of liked as an homage to the fans. It's a tribute to everybody who supported them throughout their career, is what I got out of this one. And I enjoyed this one. It's a little different from what they would normally do.
I enjoyed it. I had to listen to it a bunch of times for it to finally sink in. I agree with everything you're saying. The only thing looking back at Peacemaker, the first single, and now this, boy, there better be some rockin' stuff on this album, because the first two
are a little mellow for them.
I agree with you. This is a catchy, nice. This is meat and potatoes. Rock and roll is what I call this.
Right.
This is, I know what I'm getting. I'll consume it. I'll like it. At the end, I go, okay.
They're appeasing the fans with this one. They're honoring the fans who have stuck with them through all of their albums and what they've done.
I think I like this better than Peacemaker. I will say that.
Yes, I will agree.
But I still
I'm waiting
really
for
scary.
that nasty Scorpions rockin' song coming off of this.
So I give this 2.5 frenzies.
Right there with you on that one.
All right. Since you ripped on Tears for Fears a couple minutes ago, we are going to talk about the third single from the Tipping Point, Break the Man.
I liked Break the Man. This album is starting to grow on me a little bit.
I thought this was a very subtly brilliant song, because if you listen to the lyrics, number one, the three singles off the album so far have been vastly different.
Completely different. The first one I did not care for.
Right.
The second one I enjoyed. This one, much better. And you're right, the lyrics on this make the entire song.
Right.
It's brilliant.
It's
lyrically brilliant.
It sounds like a very light and fluffy 80s pop song. But if you listen to it, it's basically saying women are evil.
Yeah. It's
how can a woman destroy a man?
Yes.
But they're saying it in a light and fluffy way, so it doesn't seem,
so vindictive.
Yes. And again, this whole album is revolving around Roland Orzabel's wife's death. So this really threw me with the lyrics.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
What the hell did he go through?
The first two songs kind of fit, even though musically, again, stylistic, completely different. But this one is like, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like, holy shit.
Bitter
really?
Bitter man. Could Roland Orzabel be a more bitter man? But I love it. I'll give it 3 frenzies.
That's where I have it as well. 3.
Yeah, it's just a light, fluffy song with a very dark
undertone.
Yes. So I loved it. Of course, this one's easy. Slash
Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators.
Call Off the Dogs is just straight on.
Again.
Rock and roll. Melt your face off.
It's another solid 3 from this group.
Yep.
You can't go wrong with this pairing.
No.
I mean, the collaboration, Miles' vocals, Slash's guitar work, the Conspirators doing the background. I cannot wait for this entire album.
Yep. This little bit longer to wait, but yeah, I agree. This, along with The Rivers Rising, the middle, Fill My World, still bothers me. A little too
It's a
goopy.
little out of place between these other two,
Yeah.
but still, we are in for a treat, kids.
Yes.
When this whole album comes out.
Yes. Finally, I think this is going to be my favorite, and Dave could disagree. I've been waiting so long for some new Loverboy.
Dude, this one I enjoyed thoroughly. This
have
gets
to
back.
listen to Loverboy's new song, Release. You have to listen to it 2 or 3 times, and it's an earworm. It will get in your head, and all you're going to hear, till I need a release.
Oh, it is. You are going back to classic rockin' Loverboy with this one.
Yeah. I don't know if I love the production on it because Paul Dean's guitars are so far back in the mix. That bothered me a little bit.
Yeah, they should have been more front and center.
It would have been a little bit more forceful, a little bit stronger song than it is.
Yeah, they've mellowed it out from
Right.
what it actually should be.
Right. But the catchy hook, you listen to it one time, you go, I don't know if I get it. Second time, oh,
okay.
maybe.
Third time,
yep,
dude.
I get it.
Yes.
And then you're like, until I need a release. And it just it's an earworm. It gets in your head.
You
it will not let you
enjoy
go.
it. I want more.
Yes. I don't know if we will get more. We will see them in concert this summer.
Yep. Hopefully we get this one.
So three frenzies.
3 for sure. And you sent the playlist album format. I have to go back and correct myself on Bryan Adams' Kick-Ass.
Okay.
Listening to it over and over a couple more times, I have a greater appreciation for it than I did the first time we reviewed it several weeks back. So I have to up my review on it.
I think we're starting to see a lot of these bands, a lot of these acts starting to realize with COVID being isolated, they have no choice but to create. They have no choice but to make new music. And the 3 songs I've heard off Bryan Adams' new album, the 3 songs we've heard off Slash, Miles Kennedy, The Conspirators, the 3 songs we've heard off Tears for Fears, the first album they've put out in 17 years.
Yeah.
LA Guns, we just reviewed that. First album they've put out in a while.
Actually, they put Renegades out in 2020. We may have to take a look at that one. I heard the title track off of it. It popped up.
Yep. It pops up the minute we get done with
and Renegades.
Past.
I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Thanks to Spotify for that, by the way.
Yes. Thank you, Spotify, because I think Renegades was more solid than anything on Checkered Past.
And we like Checkered Past.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
So now I want to go back to Renegades.
Especially if we end up going to see, like you said, see LA Guns with Tom Kiefer and Faster Pussycat.
Yeah.
But we've got more new stuff coming next week. We have new Jack White. We have new Eddie Vedder.
Joe Satriani.
We have new Joe Satriani. And we will review John Mellencamp's new album in its entirety, Strictly a One-Eyed Jack. So how about that, kids? Knocking out all this new music for you.
It's going to be good. It's a wild ride.
That's right. Next segment, we are going to review Peacemaker. The first 3 episodes of John Cena's Suicide Squad spinoff.
Yep. James Gunn, written and directed.
I will also review Hawkeye. I finally got through Hawkeye. And then when we get to movies, Dave will have The Tender Bar and I will have Eternals. So stay tuned. So much more coming. We will be right back on the weekend edition of Sports Frenzy 2.0.
Yes. Listen, you will, to Sports Frenzy 2.0, you must. Much to learn from the maestro and conquistador there is for entertainment every Saturday. On Spotify, Anchor, Google, Apple, and everywhere are they found. Hey kids, welcome back to Sports Frenzy 2.0, the weekend edition. I'm the Conquistador Dave Height.
I'm the maestro, Kevin Crane.
We're recording here on January 19th, 2022. This will drop on the 22nd. Segment 2 here, TV streaming, first 3 episodes of The Peacemaker. James Gunn written, directed, starring John Cena.
After what we saw with last year's The Suicide Squad, I was not really feeling this. I was not really optimistic.
I was apprehensive of where this could go.
I loved it. I loved all 3 episodes. I thought it was fantastic.
It was brilliant because it picked up where The Suicide Squad left off. And you really hate the Peacemaker, but you like him at the same time. It's that odd combination for the character.
The thing I like about this is what Marvel and DC are trying to do right now. Is now they're trying to all bring in these secondary characters, and make them stars, to make them shows, movies that you want to watch.
Front and center to make it entertaining, where it doesn't really matter what's going on around.
Peacemaker, of course, brings in Vigilante, who I've always loved.
Oh my God, Vigilante is the freaking best.
I thought for a second it was Ryan Reynolds. I really did. But this is more entertaining by far than anything James Gunn did with The Suicide Squad.
Oh my God, this if the Suicide Squad would have been in this vein, it would have been so much better.
Yes.
But you're right, Vigilante, played by Freddie Stroma, is phenomenal. I think he is my favorite character through the first 3 episodes.
He only took off half my pinky toe.
Why won't this cut off? Because your blades are dull as fuck.
It is great. It's got so much more of the dark humor, the fun that James Gunn projected through the Guardians of the Galaxy that was lacking in The Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Now maybe we need to sit down at some point and break down where the Suicide Squad has failed with 2 different directors, 2 different storylines. Is it Harley Quinn? Is it too many mediocre characters versus focusing on one that you can actually take and create some kind of demented, perverse mythology about a guy who loves Cinderella and
oh my God,
and choir boys?
Any 80s stealing all the 80s hair metal vinyl.
Those would have never survived, by the way.
All the throwing off the balconies. Yes. Oh my God. No, but and the whole discussion of Cinderella with the couple in the apartment above as he's trying to escape.
You cannot not love any show that brings Cinderella in on a discussion level like that.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
The thing I appreciated about what they showed with Peacemaker was the background, and now I understand the helmet.
Yes.
Now I understand the stupid helmet.
It's not a stupid helmet.
Yes.
The helmet has purposes.
Now we understand.
Actually, should we say the helmets have purposes?
Right.
And where do we go with
Dad,
played by Robert Patrick, the White Dragon?
with that funky hairdo.
Stupid ass hairdo. Oh my god.
But it's just fun. It is
And
so much more
how can you
fun.
forget talking about Eagly? His bald eagle pet.
I want to talk about
Jennifer Holland.
yes, playing Harcourt.
Yes, she's pretty.
She's pretty. Yeah,
she's very pretty.
I like her very much.
Yeah,
and
she's pretty.
And I think Peacemaker likes her too.
Yeah, she's pretty. I liked her walking out of her apartment to go save him when she can't get her top buttoned.
I did like that, but I also did like the butterfly
that picked him up in the bar.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so he's sitting there putting the Choir Boys album on as he sits there in his tidy whities, not looking at that necessarily.
But him singing the Choir Boys.
Yes.
Before
the butterfly attacks him
and tries to kill him. But this, yeah.
Let's put it this way. I think what DC's trying to do is they're trying to avoid the wussification of what's happened with their shows on the CW. Because all I'm seeing right now are miserable reviews for all the crap they're putting out there right now.
Yeah, the CW had potential. Things started off well with Arrow. Things started off well with Flash, and then they went to shit.
Right. So now they moved everything over to HBO Max with the Titans, with Doom Patrol, now with Peacemaker.
And
this is the stuff
that
now Disney's missing out on because they pulled all the
good stuff
R-rated
off of
stuff.
Netflix.
Right. So I think now HBO Max might be burrowing in to a niche that we all want,
that we
that
got.
Disney and the CW are not getting.
Marvel got it right on Netflix with Daredevil, The Punisher, Jessica Jones,
and
Luke Cage, and even Iron Fist.
Right.
It was the dark stuff that hit home.
We could swear, curse, blood, guts.
Yeah. And now DC's finally realized, oh, the CW's effed it up. Let's go to HBO Max and bring in what everybody loved from Marvel on Netflix, while Disney says, oh, let's take the Netflix stuff and make it CW.
Yeah. Let's pussyfy it.
No, Peacemaker's phenomenal. I was, like I said, I was really hesitant on it, but I'm enjoying it.
I was too. I was too. I was too, because I have been so disappointed with not only Suicide Squad, but the Suicide. I thought when they brought James Gunn in for the second movie, it would be better, and it wasn't. No. And I did not like Peacemaker at all in that movie.
No. I'm still hesitant on him, but I love the supporting cast around him. And so far, that's what's drawn me in.
Judo master.
The Economist.
Is he actually 4 feet? I mean, literally
2
4 feet tall. He just, geez, he's a little shit. He's a little shit.
But the Economist got him.
Yeah, that was cool. So,
oh God, check the Peacemaker out. We will give you weekly updates.
Yeah, we will not fully review it until the end, which 8 episodes is what I'm understanding. I will give you my full review now of the Hawkeye series on Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
Because I feel this is a good segue, as we were talking about the great Marvel shows that were on Netflix. With the blood, with the violence, with the profanity, the R-rated stuff, which I think Disney is botching completely. They need to do this. They need to have these separated. They need to have one adult universe and maybe one, PG-13 for the kids. Yeah. Hawkeye comes as close as you can get to melding the two worlds. Because they bring in, number one, characters from the Netflix universe, but they don't curse, they don't swear, they don't kill people.
Then what good are they?
Let me ask you something. I like Haley Steinfeld a lot as Kate Bishop. And she is, again, they have to, she's the heir apparent to Hawkeye. You know, Clint Barton's going to go away. Jeremy Renner's going to go away. Kate Bishop.
Blah, blah,
so, of course,
blah.
a female has to take over for the male because that's the world we live in. But beyond that, you know, she's not attractive to me, but I love her. She's awesome. She's awesome. This is the one.
That's where looks aren't everything, though.
You know, she is perfect as that perky little fun, you know,
assassin in the making.
But she's not a bad person. She's not. It's hard to describe her, but she is not, to me, the heir apparent to Hawkeye. Let's put it that way. She is not the heir apparent. She should be the sidekick. She's like Robin. She's like Robin. She should be the cool, funny, quirky sidekick to Hawkeye, not taking over for Hawkeye. I don't find her attractive in terms of sexuality. I'll save that for Black Widow.
Who wouldn't?
Maybe her sister Yelena. But at the same time, there's no edge to Kate Bishop coming in being the heir apparent to Hawkeye.
Hawkeye has an edge to him. She does not.
Right. She's she makes too many jokes, too much fun. It's all, sarcastic wit. Okay, that's enough. At some point, you have got to be the hero. You have got to be serious. If you watch Hawkeye on Disney Plus,
even Star-Lord gets when he needs to step up and stop the jokey crap.
Right. Hawkeye may be way too serious in this.
Hawkeye's always way too serious.
Hawkeye does not joke. Hawkeye does not make fun of anything. He barely enjoys his life, and she's supposed to be the yin to his yang. But I just need her to be a little more serious and a little more hero.
So they took Hawkeye from the movies where he could have that fun little edge and banter to him and took that away.
Yeah, he's dead inside. He is dead inside.
I could see that after
because of Natasha.
Thing.
Because of Natasha. He
but
is dead.
Still, he got his family
because of what happened to Black Widow. And I'm not spoiling anything.
No.
If you haven't watched Infinity War.
By now?
Yeah.
Shame.
But he is scarred from what happened with Natasha in Infinity War. So he has not been able, even though he's got a wife, he's got kids at home. He got
them back from the dark place.
After the blip. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to me that he can't relive the joy in his life. Now, I mentioned that Deadline ruined Hawkeye for me because they tell me in their stupid, West Coast crap, they can't keep it inside for one day to tell me the big reveal of who shows up. And you know what?
F them for all of those who don't want to pay for Disney Plus yet.
Who they bring in episode 5 and 6 is interesting. But in the end, I'm not doing that. I will not do that to you or to the people out there. But it does tie into, again, the Netflix Marvel shows. That's what I will tell you.
I like that.
So that's why Hawkeye
See, I
seems
think
like it fits more with what Netflix was doing. I would have liked the profanity, the violence. Kate Bishop would have got a little bit more of an edge, like we're talking about. I think Hawkeye would have been so much better suited for the old school Netflix Marvel shows, especially since they try to overtly tie into it.
then yeah, Disney is dropping the ball big time.
But they're trying. Again, Disney's going to be Disney. Disney's going to try to do what they want, how they want, when they want, why they want.
And screw it cursing, up for everybody.
No swearing, no violence, PG-13. That's all you get. So I will give Hawkeye a strong 3 frenzies. I can't go any higher than that because, again, if Netflix had this could have been so spectacular. But as it is, very good. 3 frenzies.
All right. There we go. Sad news on the streaming front. We were just getting ready to have Moon Knight being released as a series. And the lead actor passed away due to a skiing accident.
No, not the lead actor.
Well, no, but
yeah, Midnight Man.
Gaspard
Ulliel. Again, like the regular Sports Frenzy episode. Just
trying
so
to
hard names to pronounce this week.
But this is tough for a new series that hasn't even hit yet.
And literally, the trailer hit the day before this guy died.
Yeah.
Now, do you remember where we knew him from before?
Vaguely.
Hannibal Rising.
Yeah, there we go.
When I saw his name, because I did not know anything about Moon Knight other than I knew Ethan Hawke is in it and Oscar Isaac was in it.
Yeah.
Now, Gaspard Ulliel.
See, now I hadn't seen his... I saw the picture. I'm like, I know him from somewhere. And they rattled off all these French films that he'd been in.
He was in Hannibal Rising.
There we go. That's
where I knew him from. Yep.
That's why he looked familiar. And I'm like, I haven't seen any of these. Why do I know him?
Yep.
Thank you for tying that together.
Yep, because Dave and I both are really, really into the whole Hannibal Lecter mythology. We've read all the books.
Yes.
We've watched all the shows. We've seen all the movies. Going back to the CW, which of course we love. They're bringing back John Diggle.
Oh God! Why are you going to destroy John now?
I was going to say one of the few characters we still have some level of respect for.
Why are you going to destroy John Diggle?
John Diggle will now be leading the next group of Justice League recruits in a show called Justice U.
You can't see me, but I'm banging my head on the table. Oh, God, I give this 2 seasons.
I'm starting to see pushback.
On the CW?
Yes,
finally?
A lot of people are starting to finally say, these shows are crap.
I mean, my God!
This Naomi show, which was supposed to be another one of these PC, CW, crappy DC tie-ins, is getting abysmal reviews. I think it had a 4 on IMDb out of 10. That's unbelievably bad.
This CW is the channel that brought you frickin' Supernatural.
One of the greatest shows ever.
Hard-edged, brilliant. Arrow started off hard-edged, brilliant. Flash came in.
Not bad.
It was okay. It could have been better. At least Supernatural maintained what they were. Everything else went into the toilet.
because, again, of politically correct. We've got to make everything fit. Check the box, check the box, check the box, check the box. And we saw it first. The first show that did it was Legends of Tomorrow. That was the first show where you knew they're going to start pushing things.
No, it started on Arrow too.
Yeah, but I think.
But no, well,
I think when they decided right away Sarah was a lesbian.
Yeah, Legends kind of did check the boxes first, and then Arrow quickly followed suit. Then Flash was right there.
So we'll see how Justice U plays.
It won't.
I have taken all the CW shows off my DVR. So I don't know if I
You were late to the party.
I stuck with it longer.
You stuck with it longer than me and the family did.
There are very few superhero shows that I will bail on. I bailed on S.H.I.E.L.D. S.H.I.E.L.D. was crap after 2 years.
We bailed on that right then. You hung on to Flash.
I did until the end of last year.
You held on to Flash 3 years longer than we did?
Yeah, until I did not
and
bail on it until this season.
I did not watch the final season of Arrow.
You didn't miss much. It was a short season. It was PC.
We bailed the season before. The boys bailed before I did.
Yeah.
Which should have been telling.
And I don't think you were wrong. So here you go. NBC is going to reboot Quantum Leap.
I heard about this bastardization.
And I wasn't even a big Quantum Leap fan, and I'm upset about this. Leave it alone! Come up with new material! Come up with new stories! Good Lord!
Stockwell and Bakula had it down.
Bakula's gonna... He's in negotiations to...
be the...
Yeah.
At least Stockwell's character.
Appear in this episode.
No.
In this series.
No. Just fucking let it go! Come on! Come up with something new! God, I'm sick of this shit.
But again, there are people out there who think like us. I'm telling you, there are people out there who are tired of this.
Just let it go.
Eventually, we're going to all get fed up with it.
Done.
On the positive side, before we wrap up segment 2 and get into movies, Justified is coming back.
Yes! Raylan Givens is back.
City Primeval will be a miniseries coming to FX later this year or early in 2023. Now, the funny thing about this, you and I both read a lot when it comes to crime novels.
Yep. Have you read this book?
It is not a Raylan Givens book. That's the thing you have to understand. This is not a Raylan Givens book. It's not based
on...
No, it is not. The book is City Primeval, but it is not Raylan Givens. He is not the prime character in this book. You have to do your research.
I'll have to relook at this one.
No. It takes place in Detroit, which is Raylan Givens' stomping grounds.
I'll have to double check.
It is not a Raylan Givens book. That's what threw me.
Okay.
Because the first thing I did when I saw this was, I got to go read this book. Went to look at it on Amazon, not Raylan Givens. So they're taking a story from another Elmer Leonard book, and they're going to put Raylan Givens in it.
Intriguing. I'll have to double check this one, because I know there was a Gibbons book.
Well, Raylan,
that's
which I read.
That's the one
I did read Raylan.
I'm thinking
of
Raylan.
That's not this book.
Okay. See, that's what threw me, because I'm thinking it's based on Raylan.
No. City Primeval is actually a book that Elmore Leonard wrote. Raylan Givens is not
outside
involved.
of-
Yes.
Then why didn't you just do it on Raylan?
Good point. Very good point. I agree.
Raylan was brilliant.
Yep.
It was phenomenal.
Yep, I read that. Yep.
It was the natural progression for where he was in life at this point.
Nope. This is a different character.
Well, then they're fucking it all up again. Because they just don't get it.
But it's Raylan.
Raylan's back. Timothy Oliphant is back as Raylan. That's good enough.
I know you don't have a Roku stick. You know, you probably throw it on the field in Buffalo.
Probably would.
Along with your dildo. But
again, go back to the Sports Frenzy 2.0 Sports Edition.
Yeah, anytime we say dildo, go check back with the regular Sports Frenzy
Check
edition.
out the January 20th Sports Frenzy 2.0 podcast.
Roku is doing a biopic about Weird Al Yankovic. Who do you think is going to star as Weird Al Yankovic?
Weird Al Yankovic?
Yeah. No. Harry Potter.
Eisen? Daniel Radcliffe is going to play Weird Al?
Yes.
Oh my God. I would have put Eisen.
Roku is trying to become a major player in this whole.
Where do you get Daniel Radcliffe playing Weird Al Yankovic?
Oh, come on. You can see Harry Potter doing eat it. You know you can.
Oh, God, he's got more chins than Chinatown.
All right, finally. This is personal to me. I don't normally like to do anniversaries because I don't want to waste. We like to talk about new stuff, not old stuff. But for Dave and I, this is a big, big anniversary because we don't understand the kids of today. We don't. We grew up watching reruns on TV on 4 or 5 channels on antenna.
Oh, yeah.
This past January the 14th, the 50-year anniversary, 1972, the debut of Sanford and Son.
Oh! Lisbon, it's a big one. I'm coming to join you, honey.
One of my favorite shows of all time.
Love Sanford and Son.
You big dummy. That's what we do here. That's what we do.
My God, Red Fox was brilliant.
Grady.
Great. Esther. I'm going to take some cookie dough, put your face in it, and make some gorilla cookies.
That would never fly now. Never. That would never
fly now. But that was Red Fox.
And again, you can take us for what you want. We hate cancel culture. We hate PC. We watched Sanford Son. We watched Good Times. We watched What's Happening. We watched Chico and the Man because they were funny. They were like us.
Awesome.
We understood what they were saying. We understood what they were doing. We understood the lives they lived.
Because they were lower middle class families like everybody else.
Right? We're racist because we like Sanford Son. We like Good Times. We liked What's Happening. We liked Chico and the Man. We understood what they were going through. We appreciated the humor. We loved them.
We appreciated the differences. It helped me recognize that not everybody has the same access to everything.
You want to talk about how we have torn ourselves apart? We just told you why. Because now the shows that are on TV are meant to show the differences among us, not the similarities.
Right.
Dave and I will always agree on that. Sanford and Son, What's Happening? Chico and the Man. We love those shows. They weren't us, but they were us.
Yeah. All right. Movie reviews coming up, kids. Stay tuned. In a world of politically correct sports coverage, two individuals stand alone as the last bastion of sanity. The Maestro and the Conquistador star in Sports Frenzy 2.0, the podcast.
Available on Spotify, Anchor, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Breaker, Apple, Overcast, and Castbox. Hey there, hi there, ho there. Welcome back to Sports Frenzy 2.0, the weekend edition. I am the Maestro, Kevin Crane.
I'm the Conquistador, Dave Height.
Taping here on the 19th of January, 2022. This will hit the morning of the 22nd, 2022. We've gone through music. We've gone through TV and streaming. It is time for movie reviews. Dave is mad at me. He is mad at me because
you recommended a movie, said we're doing this for next week, and you frickin' bailed.
Because I had another movie I had to review.
And you couldn't do two.
Because I had other shows. I had Hawkeye. I had Peacemaker. I will watch the movie.
Ugh.
You said you liked it, though.
The Tender Bar. Based on a memoir. Directed by George Clooney. I was hesitant and almost poo-pooed this one when you recommended it. Based on the last few, like, what was it? Power of the Dog and
which is
some of that garbage.
Acclaim far and wide.
Anyway.
Which I agree is garbage.
Crap. The Tender Bar. Young boy growing up. Parents are divorced, looking for a father figure. Okay. This one had characters you could get behind and you wanted to know how things would turn out. Damn him to hell, Clooney directed this beautifully. Ben Affleck was incredible as Uncle Charlie.
Ben Affleck doesn't get enough credit.
He does not.
I did watch the first half hour of this, by the way.
Okay. Ty Sheridan played the older version of the kid. He was solid. But Daniel Ranieri, first time role playing the young child in the lead, was phenomenal. The kid did a brilliant job. You really were rooting for him from the beginning. His mom, played by Lily Rabb, okay. I'm not the biggest fan of hers. She's mediocre at best. Christopher Lloyd is his grandpa with the whole family dynamic, and he was brilliant in it. I got behind this movie thoroughly and enjoyed it. I give this one 3, a solid 3.
So even though you're mad at me for saying you should watch this movie, you like the movie.
Yes.
So you should be thanking me.
I will thank you for recommending this one.
And I will have to watch it.
You will. Everything about it revolving around the bar that Uncle Charlie owns and him being the father figure to his nephew and the guys who hang out in the bar helping him along the way.
What do you do with the money you stash in your wallet?
Yeah.
You never spend it on booze.
You never spend it on booze.
Yep.
There are rules to live by in Uncle Charlie's world, and it's brilliant.
Yep. That's why I thought you would enjoy it. I watched.
And Uncle Charlie will never lie to you.
Ben Affleck never gets enough credit.
He doesn't.
He never gets enough credit.
He was awesome in this one.
He is great as a director. He directed Gone Baby Gone. He directed Argo. He gets no, because of the tabloid life he lives. Because
but you know what?
He's always out there with Jennifer Garner. He's out there with J-Lo.
Who
The
cares
guy-
what he does in his personal time? As an actor, director, writer, he's brilliant.
Oscar winner for Good Will Hunting, obviously.
Argo.
But I will always say his greatest work was his first directing job with Gone Baby Gone, Dennis Lehane's Gennaro and Kenzie novel.
Oh my God.
That movie is one of the greatest movies ever made.
One of the greatest adaptations from a book ever done.
Yes, his brother is phenomenal. I always got mad when people did not want to acknowledge when he got the best actor for Manchester by the Sea. Because that was when all the PC crap started in. Oh, you can't give that to a white guy. You can't give best actor to a white. Watch Manchester by the Sea. Watch Gone Baby Gone. Casey Affleck is a great actor. Ben Affleck is a great director and a great actor.
Yep.
The Afflecks get no credit.
They don't.
They should get more.
And I will say Affleck is the one who made this a phenomenal movie. And like I said, the new kid, Daniel Ranieri, playing the youngster, brilliant. I want to see more from this kid as he goes on.
So now I'm thinking I should have watched The Tender Bar instead of The Eternals.
You probably should have,
No.
you jackass.
I was tempted. I have to watch the Marvel stuff when it comes out. I have to. It's like encoded in my DNA. All right. So this is going to take a while because
Oh God, sit down, kids. Strap it down. Grab a beer or two.
we're going to Dave and I had our preconceived notions about the Eternals
based on the previews.
I will say that for a certain point in the movie, maybe halfway through, those preconceived notions were valid. And I did not like the movie to that point. Because, again, number one, it's directed by the woman who directed Nomadland, which, if you haven't figured out by now, I think is the most overrated piece of crap the world has ever put out in terms of cinematic achievement.
That would be a piece of crap in a bucket.
Yeah, I was waiting for one of the Eternals to actually shit in a bucket during the movie. So that was strike one. Strike two, as I mentioned early on, as they introduced the Eternals.
Angelina Jolie.
And Salma Hayek. Those two were unnecessary. You could have saved yourself money. They didn't need to be in the movie at all. You could have hired some younger actors or actresses to play their roles. Save the money because they're worthless. Salma Hayek is worthless except for her big boobs. That's all she's good for is her big boobs. Look at her on Instagram. That's all she cares about is showing her big boobs, and she acts like she's a serious actress. No, all she is a freaking Hispanic-speaking woman with big boobs. Angelina Jolie's not much better. She's a skeleton with big boobs. Salma Hayek's better looking.
Yes, I will give you that.
So you go through the introduction of the Eternals, and yes, it's just such PC crap like we expected. Because you got to have the angry gay black man as an Eternal. You have to have a disabled person, a deaf person as an Eternal. You have to check the boxes. You have to check the boxes to make sure you've got every person, every creed, every color covered in the Eternals before you can move forward with the movie. Now, here's the thing. Once they finally get over that, and you're done with the PC crap, and the gay kiss and all that.
Once the boxes are checked.
Not a bad movie. Not a bad movie. Actually, okay. And I will go so far as to say this, which will probably blaspheme me with the Marvel Universe. Better than Shang-Chi.
Wow.
Better than not much. I mean, we're talking about
a tenth.
Yeah.
A tenth of a frenzy.
Yeah. I mean, I was so disappointed in Shang-Chi. So disappointed. Given now with Moon Knight coming out, another 70s Marvel hero like Werewolf by Night, Moon Knight, Shang-Chi, those are the characters I grew up with. The Eternals go back to Jack Kirby. I don't like the whole intergalactic shit. The Fantastic Four's done it. The X-Men have done it. I have to admit, the second half of the Eternals pulled me in, and I was kind of into it. I kind of liked it. The special effects were really good in the second half. First half, it looked like it was going to be, again, another Transformers wannabe, like the Avengers,
Yeah.
And I was so down on this movie in the first half. Second half was much better. Much better. I'm only giving it 2.5 frenzies, but again, marginally better than Shang-Chi. If I had to pick between the two, I would watch the Eternals again instead of Shang-Chi. Because Aquafina
destroyed Shang-Chi.
Wasn't the only reason. Again, people riding dragons and shit just doesn't do it for me. With the Eternals, you're dealing with celestial beings and massive, worlds, and so the special effects are going to be overwhelming. You're going to have creatures. The deviants are a big part of the first half of the movie, and they are, again,
there you go,
overwhelming CG stuff that I can't stand. The Eternals, marginally better than Shang-Chi.
So what I'm hearing is neither one will hold a candle to Big Trouble in Little China.
No. And we will get into this. We will get into this with our resident snowflake, Aaron, come Monday when we have our second Sports Frenzy winter meeting, because he, of course, is a big Marvel fan, and he just degrades me every time I ridicule this current crop of Marvel movies. So you just don't like it because it's Disney. No, I just don't like it because
they're
crap.
effing up the storylines.
These movies are not as good as what we saw with the original heroes, because the original heroes were more human. They were more relatable.
They followed more with the original storyline of the comics.
Oh, you don't like it because it's Disney.
No, I don't like it because they're effing everything up.
Have you seen the ad for the new movie coming out, Moonfall?
No, I have not.
I can't wait for you to see this. I can't wait for you to see this.
I don't. When I usually watch
this
TV,
is coming. The good news is
when I usually watch TV, it's unless it's sports, I DVR everything so I can fast forward through the commercials.
Here's the best part of it. It's coming out on the same weekend as Jackass Forever, which we all know will destroy it, because everybody wants to see Johnny Knoxville get kicked in the nuts 20 times till Sunday.
Well, yeah.
But Roland Emmerich directed Moonfall, okay? This is why I'm obsessing about this. Dave,
why do I think this is going to be another fucking Twilight?
It's worse. It's worse because Roland Emmerich directed Independence Day, which for some reason people love. I can't stand.
It's okay.
watch the ad, watch the trailer, because
God.
there are people jumping in a car from like Moon Rock to Moon Rock. It is literally the dumbest thing you've ever seen since James Bond back in the Pierce Brosnan days with the Ice Palace.
Oh,
Remember that?
Jesus God.
Remember that?
No, I'm trying to wipe that from my memory.
This is just as bad.
Oh, sweet God.
Roland Emmerich is a hack. People are jumping in a car from like meteor to meteor. It looks pathetic.
It's based on a graphic novel, isn't it?
I won't go there. I'm not going there.
I'm just asking a legitimate question.
I don't know. I don't know what it's based on. All I know is it's based on crap. I have book news to wrap up.
Now inquiring minds have to know.
Oh, stop it. I have book news.
Book news.
I think you will be excited about this. Coming August the 9th, 2022. From Michael Mann and Meg Gardner.
You had me at Michael Mann.
The book will be Heat 2.
Oh, really?
Michael Mann and Meg Gardner have put together a prequel and a sequel to the classic crime drama
Heat
with Pacino, De Niro, Val Kilmer. They have gotten together and they're putting together a hardcover book coming out August the 9th.
Meg Gardner is good. I've read a couple of hers.
The book will supposedly start with Val Kilmer's character trying to figure out a way to get out of his dilemma.
Intriguing.
But they will also reflect back
to
De Niro and Pacino's characters and what happened before and what will happen afterwards.
Intriguing. That means I have to go back and rewatch Heat.
I think we should when we get close to August the 9th, and that would be a good story time for us.
I think it would.
That is right. That will give us an excuse to review Heat before Heat 2 comes out in August.
There we go.
All right, that's all I got.
We're out, kids.
Next week, Dave and I will try to review The Last Duel, which is now on HBO Max with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Intense Ridley Scott medieval story about...
God, love the medieval stuff.
They made a big mistake putting it out when they did. They never should have. I mean, it only made $10 million at the box office.
Let's face it, as of late, everybody's screwing up when they release things and how they release them. And thinking, oh, we got to push this back a year because of what it could potentially go up against, that it would destroy normally.
Who was it? Some comedian said this past week, Joe Biden came out and said, I've got the cure for COVID. Stop going to see Spider-Man Far From Home!
Fuck you, Joe.
No Way Home. Whatever.
And again, you will like No Way Home ties in the Netflix Marvel Universe.
Yes, I know. We're not spoiling anything for you, but 6 weeks out, you better figure out what's going on. If you don't, it's your problem, not ours. 1 week, 2 weeks out, I'm with you. No spoilers. Stop it.
2 weeks is a legitimate...
No, I say a month.
Month?
I say a month.
All right, we'll go a month.
You have to go a month. If you haven't seen a movie or a TV show in a month, then
all bets are
game. Off. No spoilers.
That's fair.
It's all fair game. I think that's fair.
That's fair.
He's a conquistador, Dave Height.
He's the maestro, Kevin Crane.
We hope you've enjoyed the weekend edition of Sports Frenzy 2.0. Next week, as we mentioned, The Last Duel. John Mellencamp. I
And,
might have WandaVision for you.
we'll see what comes up.
That's right. Lots of birthdays coming up this coming week, including my compatriot, the Conquistador. So who knows?
Yep, got my birthday coming up, and my eldest turns 21 coming
so
up.
that's what I'm saying. We don't know where we're going to be, what shape we're going to be in,
when we're going to be doing this. So,
but of course we will be here. One way, shape, or form or the other.
something will happen.
That's right, kids. Thanks a lot. We love you. We'll check you out next week.
Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, share it, reach out.
Share it, bear it, throw a dildo on the field.
Again, check out the regular sports edition. We
All right.
love you, kids.
Check you out next week.